Chosen one, what if I told you your life was never meant to peak in your 20s? What if everything you've survived was designed to activate your true mission, starting at 40? For too long, the world has fed you lies about timing. You were led to believe your power should manifest earlier, that if you hadn't made it by now, you were somehow behind. But the truth is, your life was never meant to follow their schedule. Everything you've endured, the setbacks, the struggles, the solitude, was preparing you for this very moment. As the curtain rises on this new chapter, you're about to discover the divine precision of this timing. Hidden truths are coming to light, and they are speaking directly to your soul. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Remember, you're not late. You're right on time. Stay with me until the end and see the full picture unfold. 1. Letting go becomes power, not pain. You may have spent much of your life trying to hold everything together. Relationships, career paths, identities that once seemed so certain. But now, there's a new feeling bubbling beneath the surface, one that whispers, what if you didn't have to carry it all? Think back to those moments of heartbreak or frustration. Perhaps you felt overlooked or struggled against expectations that were never truly your own. It's exhausting, isn't it? You've given so much of yourself, only to feel drained and unfulfilled. But here's the truth. Those challenges weren't meant to break you. They were preparing you. They were creating the conditions for a transformation, one you're just beginning to sense. And as you move through the shift, you'll see that what felt like failure was really divine preparation. When you cling tightly to something, be it a role, a belief, or a relationship, you can start to lose sight of your own worth. The fear of letting go can feel paralyzing. What if you let go and everything falls apart? What if you're left with nothing? These questions might keep you awake at night, fueling an endless loop of doubt and second-guessing. But at a certain point, something shifts. You start to notice that holding on isn't making you stronger. In fact, it's the very thing keeping you stuck. You remember the times you tried so hard to fix something that was never yours to fix, and you realize it wasn't the letting go that was painful, it was the resistance. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means recognizing when something no longer serves you and having the courage to release it. Scripture often speaks to this turning point. In Isaiah 43 verses 18 to 19, we're told, "Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" These words remind us that letting go is not about erasing the past, but making room for something greater. It's a declaration that new life can only emerge when we release what's holding us back. When you consider the stories of transformation, whether it's the Israelites leaving Egypt or Peter stepping out of the boat to walk on water, each begins with a willingness to leave behind what no longer fits. It's this same principle that unfolds in your life as you reach a place where letting go becomes not just necessary, but empowering. When you finally start to release those burdens, the shifts become undeniable. You might notice that your energy feels lighter, as if a weight has been lifted. You begin to sense divine timing at work, where things that once felt impossible suddenly fall into place. Maybe it's a new opportunity that comes seemingly out of nowhere, or a moment of clarity that changes your perspective. You begin to see the patterns, the interconnectedness of events, and you realize that what seemed like random chaos was actually a carefully woven tapestry. The people who remain in your life feel different too, more supportive, more aligned. It's as if letting go created a space for the right connections and experiences to flow in. This isn't random. Behind the scenes, divine forces are moving, clearing your path. What once felt like endless struggle now feels like a setup for something far greater. Consider the story of Joseph, who faced betrayal, imprisonment, and years of uncertainty, only to rise to a position where he could save countless lives. His journey wasn't easy, but each setback served a purpose. In the same way, your challenges have not been in vain. They've been a process of refining and aligning you with your calling. You see that the moments of solitude, the feelings of rejection, were not punishments. They were moments of preparation, divine recalibrations guiding you toward your true path. But now that you see these shifts happening, the next step is to embrace them fully. This is where many falter. The unknown can be frightening. It's tempting to cling to what's familiar, even if it's painful, because at least it's predictable. But to step into true alignment requires trust. Trust that what is leaving your life is making way for something better. Trust that the signs you're seeing, the synchronicities, the sudden clarity, are not just coincidence. They are invitations. By choosing to accept these shifts rather than resist them, you open the door to transformation. So what's next? It's time to act on what you've discovered. You are no longer tied down by fear of judgment or failure. Release those final hesitations and step into your new reality. Affirm your identity as a chosen one. Declare that you are ready to move forward, not as someone seeking validation, but as someone who knows their worth. Let this moment mark the start of your new chapter. Expand your spiritual practice, lean into your gifts, and trust that every step you take is divinely guided. You've been given the tools, now it's time to use them. Comment, "I am free," if this resonates with you. And as you move forward, remember, this journey isn't about what you've lost, but what you've gained. The power to let go is the power to grow. 2. Freedom from society's timeline. You've done everything you were told to do. You've chased the milestones, met the deadlines, and checked all the boxes. But something still feels off. There's an emptiness that creeps in when you pause, a lingering question of whether all that effort was worth it. Maybe you've wondered why others seem so certain, so settled, while you still feel like you're running a race without a finish line. You're not alone in this. Many chosen ones find themselves asking these same questions, especially as they approach the middle of their life. The expectations that once seemed so natural now feel stifling, and the timelines that once defined success now feel arbitrary. You're searching for meaning beyond the clock's relentless ticking, and that search is not in vain. It's the start of something much deeper, a shift that you can feel in your bones, even if you can't quite name it yet. For years, you might have been driven by the pressure to keep up. Society told you that certain achievements needed to happen by certain ages. A stable career in your 20s, a family by your 30s, financial security by your 40s. Missing those marks felt like failure. It's not just the milestones themselves, it's the emotional weight they carry. The fear of judgment, the shame of feeling behind, the constant comparison to others who seem to have it all figured out. This pressure can leave you feeling disconnected from your own path, as if your life is no longer your own. It's a burden that's easy to carry without question until something changes, until you start to realize that you're not meant to live by someone else's clock. When you begin to question these timelines, it's not a sign of failure, it's a sign of awakening. Consider the story of Sarah and Abraham in Genesis 21, where they waited decades for the birth of their promised child. The world's timeline would have written them off long before their moment of fulfillment, yet divine timing had a plan all along. Their story teaches us that what seems like a delay on a human scale is often a purposeful season on a spiritual one. The waiting wasn't wasted, it was part of the preparation. In the same way, your life's timing isn't random or meaningless. It's part of a larger design, one that unfolds not according to the world's expectations, but according to a divine rhythm. As this shift happens, you start to notice the signs. It might feel subtle at first, like a gentle release of urgency. You stop feeling the need to measure your worth by what you've achieved by a certain age. Instead, you begin to tune into something deeper, an inner sense of alignment that tells you when you're on the right track. Opportunities appear in ways you didn't expect. People come into your life at just the right moment, while others who no longer serve your growth quietly drift away. It's as if an unseen hand is guiding your steps, placing you exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. The more you trust this process, the more you'll see that divine timing is not just a concept, it's a lived experience. This shift doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of something greater at work, clearing away what no longer serves you and making room for what's truly meant for you. You begin to see how the events that once seemed like obstacles were actually stepping stones. What you perceived as setbacks were carefully orchestrated moments designed to align you with your purpose. The divine is not distant, it's actively involved in your life. The synchronicities you experience, the moments of unexpected clarity, the sudden changes in direction, All of these are signs that a higher power is guiding your path. Faith becomes more than a belief. It becomes the lens through which you see your life unfold, revealing a destiny that was written just for you. However, recognizing this alignment is only the first step. The real transformation happens when you fully accept it. Many people sense this shift but hesitate to embrace it, clinging to the safety of familiar timelines. They fear that letting go of societal norms means stepping into the unknown, and that can be terrifying. But the truth is, you were never meant to fit into someone else's schedule. Your path was always unique. Embracing divine timing means trusting that what's ahead is far better than what you're leaving behind. It means stepping into your power and acknowledging that you don't need to force or rush anything. This moment, this sacred moment, is the time to align your actions with your soul's calling. With this understanding, you can move forward confidently. Let go of the fear and doubt that held you back. Instead of worrying about what others think or what's expected, start focusing on what feels true to you. Each step you take now is a step toward the life you were meant to live. Trust in the timing, deepen your spiritual practice, and embrace the signs as they come. You have everything you need within you. Now is the time to act on that inner knowing, to take the leap and trust that the universe is working in your favor. Comment align if this resonates with you. As you move forward, remember, you're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. The freedom from society's timeline is not just a relief, it's an invitation to live more fully, more authentically, and more boldly. Trust that the best is yet to come. 3. Spiritual gifts awaken in full. There's something stirring within you, isn't there? A feeling you can't quite put into words, but you know it's there. Maybe it's been growing slowly over the years, or maybe it's only just surfaced, catching you off guard. It's that deep sense of knowing, a quiet inner voice that's becoming harder to ignore. You find yourself noticing things you once overlooked, patterns, coincidences, signs that seem too intentional to be random. It's as if the veil between the seen and the unseen is thinning, and you're standing at the threshold. The world may not understand what you're going through, but you know it's real. You're not imagining this. Your spiritual gifts are awakening, and they're ready to guide you into something much greater. At first, this realization can feel overwhelming. Perhaps you've questioned your own sanity, wondering if you're just reading too much into things. You might recall moments of doubt when you dismissed those subtle nudges or wrote off your dreams as mere byproducts of a restless mind. Yet there's a part of you that knows better. You've always felt a pull, a quiet conviction that there's more to life than the surface-level grind. But acknowledging that can be scary. It's one thing to sense something greater, it's another to fully embrace it. The struggle lies in the tension between the world's logic and your soul's truth. This isn't just about learning to listen, it's about learning to trust. In moments like these, Scripture offers profound reassurance. Remember the story of Samuel in 1 Samuel 3 verses 4 to 10, when a young boy hears the voice of the Lord calling him in the night. At first, he doesn't understand what's happening. He runs to Eli, thinking it's just his mentor calling out. It takes several tries before Samuel realizes the voice is divine, and only then does he respond with, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." The awakening of spiritual gifts often comes in whispers before it comes in clarity. It may take time, but once you recognize that voice, it changes everything. The same way Samuel was called, you're being called. This isn't just chance, it's the next step in your spiritual journey. As these gifts awaken, you'll start to see the world differently. Everyday interactions take on new meaning. The casual comment from a friend, the numbers you keep seeing on the clock, the vivid dreams that linger long after you wake, these aren't mere coincidences. They're invitations to look deeper, to see what's been hidden in plain sight. You begin to notice synchronicities that guide your decisions, patterns that reveal divine timing. It's like tuning into a frequency you didn't know you could access. Suddenly, the pieces of your life start to fit together in ways you never imagined. You may even find yourself drawn to certain passages in Scripture, feeling as though they were written just for you, giving you the strength to keep moving forward. This awakening isn't something you do alone. It's a divine process, orchestrated by forces greater than yourself. Your spiritual gifts were planted in you long ago, waiting for this moment to bloom. The years of waiting, questioning, and seeking weren't wasted. They were preparing you to recognize and embrace what's always been within you. The dreams that linger in your mind, the moments of intuition that feel almost otherworldly, the unmistakable sense of being led, they're all signs of divine intervention. It's as though heaven itself is aligning your path, clearing obstacles, and bringing you into alignment with your higher purpose. This isn't a coincidence. It's your calling. Now that you know this awakening is happening, the next step is to fully embrace it. But that's not always easy. Fear of the unknown can make you hesitate. It's tempting to ignore the signs or brush them off as wishful thinking. Yet deep down, you know the truth. These gifts are meant to be used. They're not just for you, they're for the world around you. True alignment requires more than recognizing the signs. It requires stepping into them, trusting them, and allowing them to shape your decisions. This is a sacred moment. You're standing at a crossroads, and the choice is yours. Will you fully accept the gifts that have been given to you? If you're ready to take that next step, it starts with trust. Trust the whispers you hear in your heart. Trust the images that come to you in quiet moments. Trust the patterns that seem to emerge out of nowhere. These are the signs that you are exactly where you need to be. The time has come to stop doubting yourself and start moving forward. Whether that means deepening your prayer life, meditating more consistently, or stepping into a new role you never thought possible, this is your moment. You have everything you need within you. Now it's time to act. Comment "Awaken" if this resonates with you. And as you do, remember, you are not alone in this journey. Your spiritual gifts have been waiting patiently for you, and now they are ready to lead you into a new chapter of your life. Embrace them, trust them, and let them guide you. The best is yet to come. 4. Sacred solitude and energetic discernment. It's easy to feel uneasy when you're by yourself. For years, you might have avoided those quiet moments, filling your time with noise, distractions, and obligations. But now, something has changed. Solitude no longer feels threatening. It feels necessary. As you've matured, you've realized that there's a depth to stillness, a truth that can only be discovered when the world is silent. This isn't loneliness, it's an invitation, a sacred calling to turn inward, to reconnect with what's real and true. In these quiet spaces, you begin to feel an energy that's unmistakably yours. It's subtle, like a whisper at first, but it grows stronger the longer you stay still. You sense a shift happening, something powerful and unseen. The solitude you once feared now feels like a refuge, a place where the real work begins. But that shift isn't without its challenges. In the early stages, solitude can still carry traces of doubt. You may find yourself reflecting on past relationships, friends who drained you, connections that once seemed vital but now feel burdensome. Perhaps you recall the times you stayed in situations out of obligation, even when your intuition told you to walk away. There's an emotional weight to these realizations, a recognition of the energy you spent trying to please others or fit into roles that weren't meant for you. The struggle isn't just external, it's internal too. The quiet forces you to confront the patterns and habits that no longer serve you. That's not easy, but it's necessary. Because only when you face these truths can you begin to discern what truly belongs in your life and what doesn't. Scripture often speaks to the power of stillness and discernment. Consider Psalm 46 verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. This simple yet profound command invites you into a state of awareness, a space where the divine becomes clear. It's not about doing more, it's about being more present. The stillness isn't just emptiness, it's the place where you meet God, where you hear the voice that's been guiding you all along. Just as the prophets often retreated to the wilderness to gain clarity, you too are stepping into your own sacred wilderness. It's here that you start to recognize the patterns, to see the connections you couldn't see before. You realize that discernment isn't just about avoiding the bad, it's about embracing the good that's meant for you. It's about moving not with urgency, but with intention. As you lean into this sacred solitude, you begin to notice a new clarity in your life. The energy around you becomes more distinct, almost tangible. You can feel when something is off, when a person or situation isn't aligned with your purpose. This isn't just intuition, It's a refined sense of discernment that comes from truly knowing yourself. You start to see how certain people and environments leave you feeling drained, while others uplift and inspire you. Your movements become more deliberate, your choices more thoughtful. The relationships that remain are the ones that energize you, that encourage your growth. And as you pay attention to these shifts, you realize that this isn't something you have to force. The clarity comes naturally, simply because you've allowed space for it. You've given yourself permission to trust your own energy. What's more, this discernment feels guided, as though something larger is at work behind the scenes. It's as if the divine is removing obstacles you didn't even know were there. You start to see that the people who quietly drifted away, the opportunities that didn't pan out, were actually clearing space for what truly belongs in your life. The synchronicities, the perfect timing of a chance meeting, the way a door opens just as another closes, begin to feel like more than coincidence. It becomes clear that you're not navigating this journey alone. Spiritual forces are aligning your path, helping you step into a state of harmony where everything seems to fall into place. The solitude was never about isolation, it was about preparation. You were being prepared for this exact moment. But discernment isn't just about noticing the signs, it's about acting on them. This is where the real shift occurs, when you stop second-guessing yourself and start trusting what you feel. It's not uncommon to resist this change, to cling to what's familiar even when it no longer serves you. Yet, deep down, you know that stepping into your own frequency means releasing the old patterns. It means letting go of the need for external validation and listening to the internal guidance that has always been there. This isn't about rejecting the world, it's about embracing your true self. It's about knowing that the sacred solitude is not a punishment, but a gift. It's the space where you can finally hear the voice that says, "This is who you are. This is where you need to go." As you move forward, take what you've learned in solitude and let it guide your steps. You're no longer making decisions out of fear or obligation. Instead, you're choosing based on what resonates with your soul. Each choice you make from this place of discernment strengthens your confidence, your peace, and your power. The more you trust this process, the clearer your path becomes. It's not about having all the answers at once. It's about trusting that the next right step will be revealed. You've done the hard work of listening, of being still, of discerning. Now, it's time to move, knowing that every step you take is supported by something greater. Comment energy if you feel this shift within you. And as you continue this journey, remember that solitude was never about being alone. It was about finding the clarity and strength you need to step into your true self. You're not just walking away from what doesn't serve you, you're walking toward the life that's been waiting for you all along. Trust it, embrace it, and let it guide you forward. 5. Living boldly and unapologetically. You've reached a stage in life where you're done holding back. Gone are the days of carefully editing yourself, of dimming your light so others wouldn't feel overshadowed. You've seen too much, experienced too much, to keep quiet any longer. The truth is, you were never meant to blend in. All those years you spent trying to conform, trying to please, trying to soften your voice, they only delayed the inevitable. Deep down, you always knew you were here to stand out, to speak up, and to live unapologetically. Now, the time has come. The world may have told you to stay in your lane, but you've outgrown that lane. You're ready to step into your power, and this time, you're not asking for permission. It wasn't always easy to own your voice. For years, you may have doubted yourself, questioned whether your truth was worth sharing. You likely faced rejection, dismissal, and misunderstanding from people who didn't see your vision. Perhaps you tried to share a piece of yourself once, only to be met with silence or criticism, and you decided it was safer to stay quiet. That fear of judgment, of standing out too much, can be paralyzing. So you shrank. You fit yourself into the roles others handed you, keeping your opinions, your gifts, and your light tucked away. But over time, something inside you shifted. The weight of hiding became heavier than the risk of being seen. The question turned from, "What if they don't accept me?" to, "What if I never show them who I truly am?" Scripture reminds us of the power of authenticity. In Matthew 5 verses 14 to 16, Jesus says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. These words aren't just encouragement, they're a call to action. You weren't given your voice, your perspective, and your unique experiences so they could stay hidden. You were created to stand out, to be that light on the hill. When you embrace this calling, when you decide to stop apologizing for who you are, you begin to fulfill a divine purpose. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. When you live boldly, you honor the gifts you've been given. As you step into this unapologetic way of being, you start to see changes all around you. People begin to notice the shift, not because you're shouting louder, but because your presence carries a different energy. You're no longer hedging your words or softening your tone to make others comfortable. Your confidence invites others to rise with you. The opportunities that once seemed out of reach begin to align effortlessly. You find yourself connecting with people who truly see you, who value what you bring to the table. This boldness isn't about seeking approval, it's about owning your truth so fully that others can't help but be inspired. The more you show up as your authentic self, the more you create space for others to do the same. It's as if by reclaiming your voice, you've given them permission to find theirs. This isn't just happening by chance. It's part of a larger divine design. The rejection and challenges you faced in the past weren't meant to silence you forever. They were there to refine you, to help you see just how strong you are. The world needs your perspective, your story, and your courage. And as you step into your boldness, you begin to notice how everything around you shifts. What once felt like opposition now feels like preparation. The voices that once told you to quiet down now serve as a reminder of how far you've come. This is the moment you've been prepared for. By owning your truth, you align with the plan that was set for you long before you ever doubted yourself. The only thing left to do is fully embrace this new way of being. Many people shy away from boldness because it can feel uncomfortable at first. The more visible you become, the more you may fear criticism or judgment. But the truth is, boldness isn't about being loud, it's about being clear. Clear in who you are, in what you stand for, and in the path you're choosing. When you stand unapologetically in your truth, you send a message to the world. This is who I am, and I will not be moved. It's a sacred declaration, one that sets you free from the opinions of others. The moment you fully accept your own authenticity is the moment you truly step into your power. Now that you've reached this point, the next step is to act on it. Start showing up as your full self in every area of your life. Speak your truth in conversations, in your work, and in your relationships. You'll find that the more you do this, the more natural it feels. Living unapologetically becomes less of a decision and more of a state of being. With each step forward, you strengthen the foundation of your identity, building a life that reflects the person you were always meant to be. No more shrinking, no more second-guessing. You're here to stand tall, and you're ready for what's next. Comment bold if you're ready to stand tall in your truth. And as you move forward, remember this: living boldly isn't just about changing your life. It's about changing the world around you, inspiring others to rise alongside you. Your voice matters, your truth matters, and your light is needed now more than ever. This is your moment. Embrace it fully, and watch as everything begins to shift in your favor. Sometimes, it feels like the weight of all your experiences presses down at once. The struggles, the sacrifices, the quiet nights spent questioning your purpose. You may have felt like you were wandering, lost in the in-between, waiting for something to happen that would make everything fall into place. But now, something is shifting. You're beginning to sense it, a growing clarity, a soft yet persistent voice telling you that this, right now, is your time. The waiting wasn't wasted. The hardships weren't for nothing. Everything you've been through was leading you to this moment. You've been moving through a divine process, even when you couldn't see it, and now it's time to step into the fullness of who you are. This is your expansion. You're not late. You're right on time. The world might measure success by age, but heaven measures by readiness. You were made for this season, for this awakening, for this bold step forward. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And to all supporting members, thank you for walking this path with us. 4 full prophetic revelations daily. Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. You've known it all along, haven't you? Now it's time to live it. This hope is not misplaced. It's the whisper of your destiny calling you forward, reminding you that the struggle was never meaningless.